Hey everybody, this is Matt from Low Budget Ballers. We really appreciate all you listeners out there. And if you guys like the podcast, please hit like, leave us a comment, subscribe, and share us on your social media platforms. You guys can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Low Budget Pod. And spread the word, and we are available on iTunes and Google Play. And thank you for listening. What's up, basketball heads? Welcome back to the best fucking podcast on earth. I'm Matt.
I'm Lawrence.
And we are Low Budget Ballers, and so are you. And this is the playoff breakdown.
Playoff breakdown!
I just as a side note, I want to say that basketball head is a thing.
Yeah.
Officially now.
AI?
Because Allen Iverson went on national TV on ESPN, and he called himself a basketball head while making fun of Stephen A. Smith for not being one because he didn't trust the process.
Damn.
Yeah. It's actually really
I didn't even
funny.
know what context it was, yeah.
So Stephen A. has been like, I'm going to use a Stephen A. word right now, bloviating about...
Lugubrious.
Sometimes I think he just makes that shit up, but he loves to like pretend like he knows a lot of big words.
The thing is, he has like real reporting
He's a great reporter.
connections.
He's a great reporter.
But then he just parades as like an analyst. He's on TV or radio like 19
Almost
hours
all day.
out of the 24 hours.
Forbes has him worth $1 billion.
Are you fucking serious?
I couldn't believe that when I saw that.
No way.
I swear to God.
I'm looking
look
this
it
up right now.
I swear to God, look that shit up.
No.
But so anyway, so in context, so Stephen A. the whole time has been a big, $1 billion fucking dollars, man. I'm telling you.
Fuck.
So he had been like railing against the process because he was like, I can't believe like they would never let a black executive do that. And I was like, okay, hang on. So you're probably right about that, but let's rewind a second. They wouldn't let any executive do that
fair.
shit.
Yeah.
Like this is what I said. This is like at the beginning of the when the podcast first started. I was like, the genius of the process is not sucking to get good picks. Everyone knows that that's what you have to do. The genius of the process was Sam Hinkie being able to convince ownership not to fire him during that whole time. That's the genius of the process, being like, this is the job. We're all going to accept that we're going to lose. Please don't fire me until we get what we need to do, get what we need to get, and then move forward from there.
Absolutely. There's also other stuff too, like even during the years that they were absolutely terrible, they were trading off guys that were even showing incrementally being good, but like not like superstardom or anything. Like I remember when KJ McDaniels was playing kind of well for them.
Yeah, I remember.
And like just like that guy's like at least one of the guys on the team that's not that bad. Traded him for a second round pick.
So that was another.
Fuck him.
That was another great thing that Hinkie did, though. He blew up these guys. Like they played like this ridiculous pace, so all their stats were crazy inflated, and then he ended up trading them for more than what they're worth.
Michael Carter Williams.
So Sam Hinkie really is like one of the great executives, and I hope he fucking gets another chance. But anyway, rewinding back to this story, Allen Iverson gets on the air and he's like, I love the process. All of us basketball heads in Philadelphia understood why we were doing this. And Stephen A's just sitting there with a shit-eating grin on his face like, wow, I just spoke, because he kept saying like, I'm telling you, I have the Philly connections. Philly hates this. And fucking the favorite athlete in the history of Philadelphia gets on national TV and he's like, no, we all loved it. Stephen A., you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, completely proven wrong. But there were also, I will defend that there were like points to the process that were huge mistakes. Like drafting 3 centers, like
Michael Carter Williams was a mistake. Jahlil Okafor was a big mistake.
Noel, they fucked up.
Noel was that could have worked out.
He could have still been on the team because obviously Embiid's injury issues.
They didn't draft Noel though. They traded for Noel on draft night.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that. You're right.
They traded Drew Holiday.
That was a trigger.
Just saying. Could have had Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Oh.
Could still have had Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Oh my God. He'd be perfect too.
Yeah, he would be perfect on that team.
Exactly, because he's not the point guard anymore.
So let's get into it. Trust the process, baby. Philadelphia, congratulations.
Philly in 5. That's our first. We're gonna recap a few of the series that are over. There are only 2 that are over, right?
There's 3 that are over. Golden State, Spurs, Pelicans, Blazers, and Philly, Miami are all over. First one we're going to start with is Philly, Miami. So I had this going 7 because I figured Philly was a little bit too young I thought they were going to win the series, but I just thought that they were too young to get it done so efficiently, and Miami was extremely well coached and incredibly tough. And one of those things is true, Miami is very, very well coached and they're incredibly tough. But my goodness, Philadelphia fucking growing up in front of our very eyes.
Yeah, it's
They're
really
incredible, man. Like the things that usually hold young players back and inexperienced players back from like being great, which is like lack of experience, not necessarily knowing what to do in situational basketball and getting a little nervous, does not faze them. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are born for the big moments.
Absolutely. They're have not shrunk even a little bit. They're just playing their game. And you know what? It's not even, it's just I love watching them do their thing. They have their roles and they're perfect at them.
Yeah, they understand them and they execute them perfectly.
Watching both of them just straight up now, like at the beginning of the season, I remember I took the under on the 40 and a half wins, and I took the under because I really didn't think that any of this was possible until maybe next year, but maybe I should have seen it coming. Their greatness is now, we have to really contemplate if they can make it to the conference finals and if they can win the conference finals now.
Their ceiling this year is an NBA championship.
I agree.
Like they actually they should be the favorites in the East right now.
I agree with that.
Because Cleveland does not look good.
It is not like conjecture or whatever to say that the Cavs don't look like they're going to make the finals.
They don't look good. Yeah,
they just look bad.
They may not win this series.
They may not
win this series. If they lose tonight, there's a good chance that they will lose Game 6 in Indiana, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Now, I do still think that I picked the Cavs in 7. I do still think that they make it out, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, they look bad.
They look terrible.
And it's not LeBron's fault. It's the garbage roster put together. It's just everyone.
It's a little bit of LeBron's fault. There's no system. They're not.
It's like 5%.
Like they're not maximizing their players' abilities. Like that roster's really not that bad.
Maybe it's higher than 5% because he ain't playing defense.
He's not playing defense. Like they're not getting anything out of Rodney Hood, who should probably be like their second best player.
Well, at his height, he's second best. At the worst, he's fucking not even playing.
He's terrible.
He is so. I wonder when he gets in the offseason.
Inconsistent, yeah.
Because he shows up and then he's dead, and you don't know what you're getting at him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and he has real injury problems too. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody takes a chance on him.
Yeah, the two Lakers guys are not playing very well. Jordan Clarkson has done nothing, not even an impact. Slightly.
I totally thought Jordan Clarkson was going to come and be like a homeless man's Kyrie.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
Not a poor man's Kyrie, a homeless man's Kyrie.
He's 4 for 9 tonight. He's really fast, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't not controlled the game at all, and he's justified their minutes to freaking Jose Calderon.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like there are guys who understand how to play the game of basketball within a system and guys who don't. And so Jose Calderon is one of these guys who is not particularly talented, but his brain is his best asset. Mm-hmm. He understands the game extremely well, so he gets the minutes instead of Jordan Clarkson, who, if he had Calderon's brain, would maybe be an all-star.
He'd be really good.
Like,
i.e., Jason Terry playing for the Bucks.
Right.
He's not good, but he needs to play.
But
also putting this into like a Philadelphia 76ers perspective, like there's a good chance that we get a Philly Cavs series. And I really don't see any scenario where the Cavs win that series. It is such a different league than it was a year ago.
So I'm not so sure that there is a really good chance of that happening. I think that there's a really good chance of Philly being in the conference finals. I think that there's less of a good chance that the Cavs are there because the Cavs, A, have to get out of this series, and B, would have to face either the Wizards or the Raptors. And
both known to come through in the clutch moments.
Yeah. Now they'd have home court against the Wizards, and obviously, like you were saying, like sarcastically, like they choke. Yeah. But this might be the year that the Raptors are able to get them because they would have home court advantage, and maybe they just feel like the Cavs are vulnerable and they'll be able to like step on the gas at the right time.
Honestly, watching the Raptors lose these past 2 games to the Wizards has me convinced that I'm like, and everyone's trying to go on. There's so many different narratives to the Raptors, mainly because their fans are just so like fucking rabid and don't take any criticism at all and just go crazy after everything. But damn, they in the big moments, like where DeRozan needs the ball or Lowry needs the ball, fucking nowhere to be found. Just nothing. I don't trust them at all. I can't. How could you? Like they just shrink in the big moments.
DeRozan's been a little bit better in the big moments. Lowry, recently. I don't know what the hell is up. It's such an interesting case because Lowry is a really tough competitor and always has been
Great
since
defender.
Villanova days. But man, he does seem to shrink in big moments. It's really weird. Like I would definitely think the opposite for someone like that, a pit bull like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're getting a little bit off topic. We got to talk about the process.
But like the Sixers, I'm just thinking about these teams we've been talking about in the context of like, can Philly beat them? If I feel like if it was Philly-Toronto, Philly wins that series. Because now you have to take Philly seriously now.
I don't know if there is a series where I would not favor Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Like maybe I would pick the Cavs as the favorite if they end up playing them just because of LeBron. Mm-hmm. And we'll see how they're playing by the time they get there. I'm not holding my breath. That's going to be very good. But I don't know. That's tough, man. I really don't know. If I had to pick right now, Philly and the Cavs, God damn, I don't know, man.
I'd go Philly, and I'm not even that scared about it. They've just convinced me. Like, at the same time of not picking them early in the season, and then like sometimes that leads me to like actually root against the team because I'm like, fuck, I was wrong about them, and I get a little salty. But now I'm trying to embrace them because honestly, like I see their greatness. Like I can't bet against Embiid. He's too much of the best player on both sides of the ball. Like he is so good at rim protecting.
He is a matchup nightmare. There is not
he's
a
fucking
single
nightmare.
dude who can deal with him.
He will eat Kevin Love's lunch.
Oh my god, yeah.
He would destroy Jonas Valanciunas.
Tristan Thompson has no chance.
Nobody does. And he's such a unique player. You would need a guy like him to defend him.
Yeah.
That's it. You need Anthony Davis.
This is why I've been saying like I desperately want a Philadelphia and New Orleans NBA Finals.
That would be incredible.
That would be so great.
It would be a like ratings boom, I think. Even though you would think
so.
that like New Orleans, like they couldn't sell out a game to save their asses, but like I just feel like so many people would come in because like there's so much skin in the game without the Warriors and the Cavs there.
Yeah, you can't fuck that up. Like if you're like ESPN and TNT, like you can't fuck that up. Anthony Davis versus fucking Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Please. That's incredible.
I love Embiid so much. Watching him is just a delight.
Embiid he's going to be the best player in the league within like a year.
Really? Think so?
By the end I'm just saying like by the end of next year, like this is Embiid who's barely played. Mm-hmm. Has he even played 82 games of
he's played
of NBA basketball?
He's played 94.
Yet? Okay. So he's played 94 games. He's barely played a full NBA season and he's this good. Mm-hmm. Like how good is he in 3 years if he's healthy? Oh man.
There are little things that would make him become the best player. Like if he's a better 3-point shooter and he just becomes like this towering. He was a really good 3-point shooter last year, and then this year for some reason like it kind of just tailed off.
He can do it.
But that adds the inside-outside. Like you can't defend me out here, you can't defend me in here either.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to stretch it all the way out to 3 though. Like he can just.
But if you're the best player in the league, you can do anything.
Of course. Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess so. He's just so dominant at what he's dominant at. Like you can't score on the guy. Like he is the best defender in basketball.
Yeah, Shaq has done like an analysis of him like during the games on TNT and stuff, and it's so perfect. Like he shows exactly how he gets the ball and how he makes his moves back to the basket. Like nobody plays really like he does, and Joel Embiid does play face up a lot too, though.
Yeah, he does.
Like, he's mostly face to the
he's
front
a face up player.
hoop, which is like a weird thing to see after watching like years of just being a child, watching all these 7-footers that like push these guys down. Who would have known that was a bad way for long term?
I wish so badly that we could have seen like Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis playing in the Olajuwon, Shaq, David Robinson era. That would have been so awesome. Because really what I would like to see is Shaq in his prime versus Embiid in his prime. Because when I look at Embiid, I didn't realize he is gigantic. Mm-hmm. Like, and obviously like they're all humongous human beings, but he is a giant amongst giants. Like he makes other 7-footers look tiny. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how gigantic he is.
He's one of the original unicorns for those long-ass arms and legs. And the strides he takes are huge.
I just think it's so crazy. Like, you see him up against, like, in this past series against Miami, trying to be guarded by Whiteside in the post. And Whiteside's a big dude. Mm-hmm. And he looks tiny compared to Embiid. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it's because also his movements are so fast. that it makes like
he's
the gigantic nature of him.
And he's jacked. He's
Yeah.
jacked to the hills.
He's got the hardened thing where his arms are just fucking shredded. It's crazy. It's an interesting fucking thing to watch. And then
damn.
Ben Simmons is just a man.
And by the way, the number 1 pick in the draft and extremely talented young point guard Markelle Fultz.
He's the dark horse here.
He can't even get off the fucking bench.
He might not even play like another 25 minutes combined the entire
Maybe
playoffs.
not. He may not.
Like, I could be wrong, and he could play a little bit this next series or something happens or whatever.
He didn't play at all last game.
Yeah, no, he might not even see the floor.
That's the craziest thing, man. They could literally win the championship this year and then bring last year's what would end up being last year's number 1 pick in the draft into the squad as like maybe
icing on the cake.
Yeah, like the dude, Markelle Fultz at his peak, running the show for his own team. He's like a 25-9 guy.
If that's the peak of what we can see, he'll have to get there next year. He probably will be like, I don't know if you can predict stats, but like 12 points a night, or he seems like gradual steps to like this amazing scoring prowess though. Like he's exactly what they need too, like right off the ball.
By the way, I want to just put this out there in the ether now on what is today? Wednesday, April
24th?
Is it 25th?
25th, holy shit.
Wednesday, April 25th, 2018. I'm probably the first person that's going to say this. Dario Saric will be a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame.
He will be a Hall of Fame player.
I've heard All-Star, but this requires about 10 of those.
Hear me out.
Okay, good.
So,
give you all the time in the world you'd like.
Philadelphia is going to be a dynasty. He's going to be the third or fourth best player on a dynasty. He could end up having like 5 rings at the end of his career. And what did he get this year? He was averaging like 16 points a game.
Oh damn, I'm on. I could pull it up right now. I think that's correct. It's roughly around there. He was looking at 14 and a half a game and 6.5 boards.
Yeah, on extremely efficient shooting.
Yeah, really good shooter.
So I'm thinking he's like on like the Tayshaun Prince level, where he's like a part of a team that's always there.
I thought Chris Bosh.
Always winning, he could be that good too.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, he's gonna be an essential piece and a multiple-time All-Star on a team that wins multiple championships.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of his career, you're gonna be like, oh, this guy made 6 All-Star teams and he has 4 rings.
Like secretly, those teams. Yeah, like Kevin Love. Like obviously Kevin Love's fucking awesome. Could be a Hall of Famer too. But yeah, I love Saric.
Like a Draymond.
He's so fucking good. I love Saric. I love watching him. He's such a good shooter too. And I've heard so much speculation about them having to like Saric could be the piece that they trade to actually create the mega super team.
No, fuck that.
But they don't need to do that because of the amount of cap space they have in free agency.
Yeah.
They can just add.
That's what I'm saying. Stand pat and then just add somebody if you want to.
Also, they have a top 10 pick this summer.
Yeah.
And I think they own something else in the future, but I'm not. My knowledge is only so far.
Goddamn, the process has been a raving success.
Unbelievable. Also, the process also involved like scamming the shit out of other teams. Like Saric was involved in the Elfrid Payton trade.
You have to do it. You have to take advantage of the dumb teams. Mm-hmm. Like you just got to.
I mean, teams that are desperate.
Fucking this is why the Rockets always trade with the Knicks in Sacramento. Because Daryl Morey's like, oh yeah, I know I can have these dudes. I can definitely get these dudes.
Yeah, that guy's mine now. We are looking at a dynasty here though, probably. Saric and Embiid are 24. Simmons is 21. Yeah, he's 21. And they're all basically at their peak.
Fultz is 20.
Yeah, 20. And he just had this weird season where he basically didn't play at all. And he shot like 0 3-pointers, which is weird.
I think Saric, they might have 4 Hall of Famers on that team.
Let's take a breath.
I'm just saying.
I think they have 2 guys who probably...
Who are definites. They're definites. They're already in. They could retire today.
Well, the thing is, like, Embiid's health, and then that...
Well, of course you're assuming that they're going to be healthy.
Yeah. I'll give you the goodwill of all of that, of course. But damn. But even just now, like, the Sixers...
I'm just saying, like, 20 years from now, we're going to be looking back at this being like, damn, we had this back then. Telling you, Dario Saric, when you give your fucking Hall of Fame speech, I fully expect to get some recognition for recognizing it first.
Well, definitely. I think that the Sixers are also in a perfect scenario moving into next season too, where if they've the biggest worry in the NBA has been Embiid's health. But who gives a shit of Embiid's health if you have all these other guys who can play throughout the season and then bring him in the playoffs and fucking...
I mean, that's like one of the craziest things about it is like, okay, take one of those guys off the team and they're still fucking incredible. Like, Fultz could end up being one of the best players in the league.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Why not? He was the first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
The most recent draft we had. Remember that one? He was the number one choice. He certainly has a high ceiling. And Saric was almost the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, of course, extreme extenuating circumstances there. But they'll probably have Ben Simmons as the Rookie of the Year again, too. I think he'll win it. Even though everyone stopped talking about that because the playoffs got so good.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I mean, it's so interesting. It would be really interesting to see how the votes would change if the voting extended into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because, my goodness, Donovan Mitchell is giving it to the Thunder.
And he had a poor shooting game or two, but I mean he is the gunner of that team.
He's unrelenting. That's his team.
Yeah, he's just the head. He's the head of the dragon, and there are multiple heads to this dragon, but fuck it, he's one of them. They just have such a perfect. All right, do you want to go into the series then? We could just.
You want to skip past Pelicans Blazers and go right into it?
We can mention something about Pelicans Blazers. I mean, fuck.
All right, so
that series is.
Let's cover that one first because it's over, and then we'll get into OKC and the Jazz. So Pelicans Blazers is another one of the series that's ended. The Pelicans, like we said at the end of last podcast, finished off the job.
Yep.
And
you convinced me.
And swept the Blazers 4-0. I didn't see that coming. I had them winning the series in 7. But my God, sweeping the Blazers, didn't see that coming. So now they will play Golden State starting on Saturday in the Western semis.
The Steph Curry-less Golden State.
Yes.
That matters so much because now the Pelicans have a huge opportunity here to steal the biggest series in franchise history.
Oh, yeah.
By far, not even close. Because of that backcourt. They really need to take advantage of the mismatch that they're going to have in the backcourt of without Steph. I mean, without Steph, it's just a whole different ballgame. With him, I think that the series, there's less to speculate about. I think that the Warriors would just take it because of just sheer firepower.
So maybe I'm living in the moment because of what we just saw the Pelicans backcourt do to the Blazers backcourt. But I actually think that even with Steph, the Pelicans had a shot in this series. I'm almost tempted to say that they're the favorites if Golden State doesn't have Steph.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's crazy. And I don't think that's crazy because of Rajon Rondo's play. And Rondo's been there. And it's not like he hasn't captained teams to the finals before. He knows exactly what to do, and he's still basically at his physical peak. I mean, he's what is he, 31 now? I mean, the play he's playing now is the high, we've seen him play like this before, maybe a little bit better, scoring-wise, but basically, this is the best Rondo you're going to get.
Yeah, that's right. It's about the best version of Rondo that you can ask for. Drew Holiday is maybe the MVP of the playoffs so far.
He's just been fucking scorching hot along with Mirotic. Drew's and Mirotic's shooting has really been the fuel to the flame here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, who the hell on the Warriors guards Drew or Rondo? I have no idea. I mean, Clay's a pretty good defender, but at the same time, Quinn Cook, I mean...
Clay's going to have to guard Drew. Does
Iguodala pick up a defensive assignment, something like that?
He may end up working on it. It's going to be Clay and Iguodala guarding Rondo and Holiday. I'm not sure how it's going to break down, but that's how they're going to do it. They're going to put their best defenders on those two guys because, I mean, maybe Iguodala guards Mirotic from time to time, but Mirotic just
Draymond guards him, and then they rotate Durant in there.
What's going to end up happening? I think what they're going to end up doing is those two guys I just mentioned, Andre and Clay are going to end up guarding the backcourt for the Pelicans, and then KD and Draymond are going to have to figure out which one of them guards Mirotic and which one of them guards.
I feel like they
Anthony
just might
Davis.
rotate, but at the same time,
Well, they switch everything usually.
yeah. I wonder how many switches the Pelicans are going to want to get, or how many Rondo wants to get, basically. You know, like whatever he wants is what's going to happen, and I trust his judgment there.
The other thing to remember is that in this series that's coming up, Alvin Gentry was the lead assistant on on the first championship Warriors team, so he knows what they like to run.
Yeah, he's familiar with them. I mean, that could come in handy. We'll see.
Yeah. And Alvin Gentry, mad props, dude. I need to eat my words because I didn't think that you were going to be able to take this team to its peak. I was so wrong about that. Alvin Gentry, you're the man. Mad props. Please, please, please pull this upset off of the Warriors.
We're all rooting for you. Everyone is rooting for you.
Yeah, the whole world is pulling
Outside
for you
of
guys.
the Bay Area, everyone's rooting for you.
Yeah.
Like hardcore. I'm gonna get a Pelicans jersey and fucking wave it around. I really want this to happen. I would love it. Could you imagine how juicy it would be if the Warriors fell out in the second round?
Dude, I'm going to say something so crazy right now.
Fuck it.
For a Rockets fan. If the Pelicans play the Rockets in the conference finals, I might be rooting for the Pelicans.
Oh my! No, you won't.
I
First
don't
of all,
know,
that's a lie.
man. I'm
It's a
just
lie.
saying, just because it's more intriguing to see the Pelicans play the Sixers. That's the reason.
I think Rockets Sixers would be fucking awesome though.
I don't like that. I don't like that matchup
Why
at
not?
all.
It'd be so much fun.
I don't like that matchup.
I like it.
especially don't like it for the Rockets. I think it's a terrible matchup for the Rockets.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad. I feel like both sides would have an issue there, but we should be probably looking at that as a possible finals
I mean,
matchup.
it is definitely possible. Like, that's probably one of the top 4 most likely finals to happen.
Along with Cavs Warriors. If we get Cavs Warriors, I'll be kind of upset.
I will be too. Yeah,
It would be a little bit
be
disappointing.
upset.
It'd be like, all right, there's no New York teams in the playoffs. There's no Los Angeles teams, and Chicago's out. So that's like that. Those are the hearts of basketball, basically.
Well, you still have Philly and Boston.
True, but at the same time, like the coastal teams are gone, and that's huge. Like the Clippers have been in it, Lakers been in it, Knicks were in it in a time that I forget, so long ago. But yeah, like we have the Utah is big now, and New Orleans. Like we have these new players, Philly. Like who the fuck was talking about Philly the past 6 years? Like it's been the process forever. So I'm just glad to have like new teams to talk about.
Yeah,
New colors to look at.
It is really nice to see that the league has caught up. Like, I thought that we were going to be mired in this, like, Warriors dominance for a really long time. It looks like it's going to be short-lived. Like, I mean, they could end up winning it. Obviously, they could end up winning it this year. They could end up winning it next year.
yeah.
But it looks like it's not going to be that crazy of a dynasty.
I was convinced it would be like a fucking 7-year thing, but
Yeah.
it could
But
be a
the league-
4-year thing.
Look, the league, they forced the league's hand. Everyone had to figure out how the fuck do we counteract this team?
By tanking.
By tanking. Or by getting 2 ginormous players in Boogie and AD, and then one of them gets hurt so that you have to trade for a guy who actually makes your team better. And
I'm convinced that Paul George is going to Philly, by the way. Why the hell wouldn't he go there?
it's gonna be interesting to see. So this is really gonna be really interesting. I don't know I can't remember if we talked about this at the end of last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So Philly's got that space for one max spot, right? Mm-hmm. They are gonna have their pick of the litter. So do they go with Paul George,
LeBron,
or do they go with LeBron,
Kawhi?
or do they go with Kawhi?
They're all forwards, which is weird because they're gonna have to play Simmons, Saric, Paul George, and Embiid, which is like weird as hell. But luckily, Simmons is already an above-average defender, which is incredible for a 21-year-old. Saric is okay, whatever. Embiid, top 5 rim protector in the league. PG or LeBron.
I think he's actually the number 1 rim
He might be
protector.
statistically, or no, Gobert probably, and then, or it could be one of him or Gobert or whatever.
Regardless, it's
same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then you would have PG, one of the best defenders. Like I think it would probably shake out to be okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would be weird. Like you have to play one guard, like, and then Covington, who's like 6'8". You know, that's weird, right?
What would you do? I'm not sure what I would do.
I would sign all the best players and fucking figure that shit out later. Positionless basketball, baby.
I feel like if I were Philly and I had to choose between LeBron, PG, and Kawhi, probably go with Kawhi.
Let's say you're signing into a 5-year deal, any one of those guys. I mean, LeBron is already he's showing signs of slowing down because he chose to play 82 games, which who told him that was a good idea? Fucking, I have no idea.
And he played, I think, the most minutes on average.
Yeah, he did. He also had, like, statistically one of the best seasons of his entire career. So maybe he's not slowing down. Well, he's certainly slowing down the defensive end, or he's at least just conserving energy.
It looks like it, at least.
He's He led the league in minutes this year and last year. I'll never understand why he decided to play 82 games this year, because every time someone asks him, he just shuts it down. He's like, no, it's a stupid question. I'll be fine. But at the same time, you're taking off defensive games right now. Like, you're taking off assignments, and it's hurting the team. So that leads me to believe that you are tired.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's that particular, like, in a vacuum, I think I'd still go with LeBron out of those three guys. But just for Philly's particular situation moving forward and the fit on that team, I would want Kawhi on that team.
That would be amazing.
They win every championship.
They would, just for a minute there, as we New Yorkers like to say.
It's been too long since we had a three-peat team.
No, I don't want him. I know that's how basketball works in waves. And
that's
all that,
how it goes. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's true. That's really historically how the game has been. Let's get a Knicks fucking.
Yeah, don't hold your breath, my friend.
Yeah, I'm never gonna. Okay, next series. Okay, so we can head to Thunder.
Yeah. So let's move on to what might be the most interesting series that's still going on, which is the Thunder and the Jazz, and the Jazz have a 3-1 lead, which is amazing because I think I picked OKC in 5 games.
I picked the Jazz in 7.
So,
I'm so glad I picked the Jazz. I really, like, a week ago here, or like a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever the fuck it was, I was sitting here and I was, like, nervous, and I was about to change it. Like, I was really thinking, like, you convinced me. It was like, listen, man, the Thunder, they got too much firepower. They're too good. They're too top elite level. And I was like, fuck, I was so close to really convincing myself. And then I just couldn't do it. And I'm glad that I pussied out because now I got the Jazz.
I'm legit shocked that we're sitting here talking about this right now. Like, I thought you were crazy for picking the Jazz. I was like, the Jazz, like, they moneyballed it. They made it work in the regular season. And now they're going to have to play a series where they're going up against, like, really major top talent who have been there before. And they're going to get stomped out. Mm-hmm. Nope. And like, it's a lot of it can be attributed to poor Thunder play, but the Jazz have played extremely well. Like, you have to give them a lot of credit for pulling this off. I think I still come down on the side of this being more of bad OKC than great Jazz. Like, there's no reason that OKC should lose this series.
Yeah, no, they're probably the better basketball team, is the thing. And there's things that are... I think there's just 2 things that I think of when I think of why are the Thunder losing these games. And it's because of poor shooting by Russell Westbrook. At this point, he has the lowest... I think he has the lowest field goal percentage in the entire playoffs.
Wow.
He's taking, like, in 19 shots a game. Every night, it's like 7 for 19. 6 for 21. It's like, dude, do you not get it? Are you not getting it?
He clearly doesn't get it.
He doesn't care, or I don't know, because it's leading to losses, and it's really the strangest thing in the world.
I think he legitimately doesn't get it. I think he actually feels like I'm the best player. I think he legitimately thinks he's the best player in the world, and I think he feels like him and a group of 4 random dudes could be anybody on any given day, and if you just let him do his thing, then they will win. I think that is literally how he thinks about it, and I'll give you an example of why. At the end of game 3, was it? After Rubio lit him up for a triple-double, and he goes to the meeting and he's like, I'm going to shut that shit down next game. Mm-hmm. He literally thinks that that's the key to winning the game and the series, is for him to take on the defensive assignment of shutting down Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, like he was a game away from the finals like 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden, like, Ricky Rubio is this big challenge over him.
Bro, Ricky Rubio is a good NBA point guard, but he ain't what you have to do. He's not who you stop to beat the Jazz.
He's not like your epiphany moment.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even an all-star.
He's a distributor. He's happy not being the guy to score. He's trying to get other guys involved.
I'd say when he shoots, that the Jazz are so much better when he can make shots.
When he can make them, yeah.
Yeah, but there were games where, like, he went 5 for 18 one of these games, and it was like it really hurt them on the offensive side because they really rely on the offense that they can get, you know? And yeah, Westbrook is just at this point like I thought it was cute for a lot of last season and this season, especially last season considering we all knew that the expectations were so low because of the roster they had. But this year with the expectations so high, he's still not changing his game to in a more effective way of playing.
He's the most frustrating player in the league because he is otherworldly talented and he doesn't learn. He just doesn't learn how to change his game to maximize the success of his team. And now he's played with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Victor Oladipo, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, and he doesn't have anything to show for it.
See, him and Durant worked for like 2 or 3 years at their peak, when the years when they weren't injured and stuff like that, and they made the finals and all that. But those teams were just crafted like perfectly around him. Like Durant was like a great partner for him. But, I mean, it's just not... I don't know if I would... Like, there has been the defenders of Westbrook have been bloodthirsty for fucking forever. Mm-hmm. And I've never been on that side before. I like watching him last year. He had all those game winners and stuff. So it's fun to, like, root for him. But at the same time, especially with Durant being a snake and all that.
Yeah.
But it's hard. He's like the villain now. It's hard because everyone sees the potential. We see, like, the most athletic dude in the fucking league. And he's not a good jump shooter, and he likes taking those jump shots. And I wish someone would look at him and go, if you take a fucking jump shot, I swear to God.
That's what I like. I like Billy Donovan a lot, but a lot of this has to go on him being like, Russ, no more of this.
His pull-up jump shot stinks. It's bad.
It's not good, and his decision-making again, over and over and over again. I feel like we have this conversation all the fucking time.
It's like fucking Groundhog Day. We've sat here so many times.
It legitimately is, because he doesn't change, and so we just end up saying the same shit. Russell, you're fucking incredible. Everyone's in awe of the effort that you give and your athletic gifts. But you don't fucking make good decisions. And it kills all of us watching because we know how great you could be if you just... I don't even know like what it is. I don't know if it's he needs to chill a little bit, or if he needs to calm his ego down, or if he needs to go and look at film more. I don't know what exactly it is that he needs to do, but he needs to just be a better decision maker.
There's also a conservation of energy thing, which is... Okay, so last game he played 36 minutes, had 23 points, 14 boards, and 3 assists. On 7 of 18 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. There are definitely times where he's using too much energy, where it doesn't really need to be applied, where he's just a speed ball and he's going up and down the court and he spends, but then he makes a poor decision by like, instead of driving to the hoop where it might have been more convenient actually, he does like this like shimmy and then he pulls up. You know how he like pulls straight up like a pencil,
yeah,
and then shoots, and a lot of the time it's not going in. So it's just like a mixture of decision making and the things you said.
Yeah, he doesn't use his energy efficiently or intelligently.
Yeah, exactly.
And so sometimes he ends up handcuffing himself because he is going for it all the time. Honestly, the thing that they might need to end up doing in OKC, they might have to get a point guard for him. They might need to move him off ball. Like, he can't be the guy making decisions at the end of games. That was KD's big gripe with him. He was like, I love playing with Russ. Russ is incredible. He's an amazing player. He gets us to where we need to get, but he doesn't get us over the line. Mm-hmm. Like, so, and I remember he kept always talking about, like, through his channels and shit, like, we need somebody else making better decisions at, not necessarily somebody else, but he would be like, we need to make better decisions at the end of games, which is basically him saying, Russ, you need to make better decisions at the end of games.
Yeah. Like, I don't doubt that he like went up to him and was like, bro, I love you, but like, fuck. This is ridiculous.
On that not championship team, but the team that went to the finals, the OKC team that went to the finals all those years ago, James Harden was the guy who was the primary ball handler at the end of games.
Yep, I remember that.
They moved Russ off ball, and James came in, and he was the sixth man, and at the end of games, he closed it out as the primary ball handler.
Now, maybe 8 years later, they need to go back to that.
They need to get someone like that. You know who would be a perfect point guard for him? Ricky Rubio. Yeah. Ricky Rubio would be a perfect point guard next to Russell Westbrook.
I just think that I wouldn't even want Westbrook off ball because he's not a good shooter. I don't like him on the perimeter, really. Like, I would want him just cutting in all the time. Like, exploding to the rim, which he does the best.
I want him in a Dwayne Wade role.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gotcha. Maybe that should have been his role the whole time.
Maybe.
Speaking of guys who are underperforming, Carmelo Anthony has been handicapping his own team.
So I was way off base on that. I thought he was going to like come out and show the world he still has it. Oh my God.
Talk about poor decision making.
It is over for Melo.
Yeah.
Over.
He's terrible. He's so bad.
He looks out of shape. He literally looks out of shape.
Talk about bad decision making. Oh my God. How many times does he shoot a fucking shot with 20 seconds left on the shot clock?
Oh, man.
And, okay, so he went 5 for 18 last game, 0 for 6 from 3. Listen, we all have our bad shooting games. Mitchell went 0 for 8. The other guy, Oladipo, went like 0 for 8, like back-to-back times. Like, it happens, but like it's just been fucking nonstop with this guy.
It's a little bit different for the other guys because Oladipo is the number one option on Indiana, and the Cavs have made a point of getting the ball out of his hands. They trap him every time he touches the ball. Mm-hmm. Melo is literally the third option on OKC. He's not seeing the other team's best defender at all during the games. Mm-hmm. And he's still playing really terribly. Like, he should be fucking taking everyone's lunch.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point, should he be, though?
Because yes, it should be, because Russ and Paul George should take so much of the attention away that Melo should just be like, I can't even believe that I'm this open.
Yeah. It's not like the rest of the Thunder bench is playing like that poorly. Well, like, I mean, Felton's been pretty good. He actually had a really good game 3, and they still lost. But at the same time, like, Patrick Patterson has not really been.
He's been terrible all year. I thought that was when he signed. I
thought it was a genius deal.
Huge move. I thought it was a great move for them. It's been terrible.
He should have. I don't know what happened to him before the season, or something happened.
By the way, this is like a little bit off topic, but I was just thinking about this. You know that before KD decided to leave, they made the move to get Oladipo. So they actually had Oladipo on the team, and if they had gotten KD, it would have been him, Oladipo, and Russ.
Well, another super team.
I know, it would have been awesome.
Man. See, I'll never fault KD for leaving Russ because I get it, but going to the Warriors is the point.
That's like the narrative. Nobody hates him for leaving, especially now seeing like what's going on with Russ, but like nobody hated on him for leaving OKC. That would have been fine. It was going to the Warriors.
Yep.
That was bad.
Also, Westbrook in game 3 was 5 for 17, 1 for 4 from 3.
I feel like LeBron's just gonna be like, hold my beer, KD. I'm going to fucking Philadelphia. or he's literally just gonna, like, if the Rockets win the championship, he's just gonna be like, yep, I'm going there.
There are a lot of potential things that are going to be happening this summer.
We're gonna have a lot of fun this offseason.
A potential is also the Thunder being horrible next year.
Yeah, they could be terrible.
Because Melo opts in, PG leaves, Russ is still there. They got no bench.
Nobody wants to play with him.
Felton leaves, and he was like the only really good bench piece. Jeremy Grant's pretty good. Patrick Patterson still sucks. You would be in such a bad spot. If they lose, this tonight could be their last game of the year.
It could be the last game of the year.
The PG experiment might be over already.
I expect them to win. I expect they better win tonight.
Where is the game? I forget.
It's in OKC.
Okay, that crowd is going to be fucking.
They're going to be going
crazy.
Nuts. They're going to be going nuts. But I'll tell you this: they're going to be fucking silent if Utah comes out and punches them in the mouth right away.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
Utah is not afraid. This is not going to be one of those games where OKC comes out and just fucking wipes the floor with Utah. Utah's going in there to end the series tonight.
Yeah, and that just comes from coaching.
That's 100%. Dude, Quinn Snyder is the man. I fucking love that guy. He is so awesome. I'm the biggest Quinn Snyder fan in the world right now.
They just play such good fucking defense. And their ability to allow a lot of these guys to, or just shut down the perimeter and fucking have Gobert do his thing and have Ingles up in fucking PG's face.
That's another potential finals matchup that would be really fun is Utah and Boston. That would be great. Like Quinn Snyder and Brad Stevens.
Who can coach better? Who has like not really great roster necessarily, but like can coach the
exactly,
shit.
Dude. I would fucking love that. It would be like watching college basketball, a 7-game college basketball series. It'd be sweet.
I think we're gonna look more for regular season games from those teams than maybe next year. You want to move on to the next series?
Yeah. So
who do you think's gonna win tonight? By the way, you think OKC wins?
I have OKC.
I don't know. I don't want to be wrong about this, but I'll go OKC because maybe the Jazz can finish it at home next game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Jazz could very well end up winning this game tonight. I'm not confident at all picking OKC.
It depends where their heads are at. If Melo's like, fuck, I'm checked out. It's over. We lost. We're down 3-1. We're not going to come back from 3-1. It could be that. Or it could be fucking they really get it together. And
they don't even need Melo. They really don't need him.
They don't. They should just bench him.
They could just decide to bench him.
Thank God you said that. I saw a Reddit post on r/NBA that was like, okay, if fucking Billy Donovan is actually a good coach, why the hell wouldn't he sit Melo for Jeremy Grant?
It's a good idea.
And
Bring
then
Melo off the bench.
This was also accompanied with a clip from the preseason when Melo just got traded to the Thunder, and they were like, "So what do you think about coming off the bench?" And he was laughing.
I was there. He was like,
"Hey, guess what, man? You suck."
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you earned it.
Yeah, you know what? If he didn't act like this, if he acted like, "Yeah, I'm gonna enter a new stage of my career and stuff," people would have been like, "Yeah, I get it." But no, he has the fucking Kobe complex.
It's a big problem for a lot of athletes.
Basketball is a dangerous sport with this shit too. You can turn your whole career into like a fucking negative one if you just decide that you're the best forever.
Yeah, it's almost sad to watch because it's like, dude, you've been over the hill for a while, and like now you have a chance to actually win if you just accept that that's what's happened.
He's impeding their progress.
You know what it is though? He sees LeBron doing what he's doing at the age that he's doing it at, realizing that they came in the same draft and being like, well, because Melo has always viewed himself as on LeBron's level, always, in his delusional way, but like he's seeing basically LeBron be the best player in the world still, and he's like, well, I'm not that far away from that level, so I must be one of the best players in the world.
There's got to be at least a slim chance that Melo is out of the league in like after next year, because after next year he'll be 35, and his kind of game is not like the Vince Carter kind of.
When's his contract up?
Next year he'll opt in, and then he'll be owed like 25 mil, and then after that there's no contract.
Yeah, I mean, you may be right on that because Melo may view himself as being like a max contract guy.
He will run himself out of the league.
Yeah,
he's not. He's obviously not aging well. He's not even affecting his team now. He's a negative detriment, and it's hard to watch.
I bet before his career's over, he will play on a team with LeBron.
You think so?
I bet he will.
He'll be like one of those waiver, like...
It's going to be one of those things where it's like a couple years from now, LeBron is on whatever team he's on. God knows what team he's on. LeBron's like still competing for championships, and Melo's reputation has taken such a major hit, and nobody wants to sign him. And LeBron's like, bro, come hop on board. We'll win a chip. We'll get your reputation back, and then we'll go out right off into the fucking sunset.
Smoke a Cuban. Yeah, that would be fun. I definitely see that happening. That's totally fair.
All right, so let's move on now to Cleveland and Indy. Mm-hmm. Cleveland-Indy Game 5 in Cleveland tonight. It's tied up 2-2, and Cleveland's looked a little bit better. They've looked a little bit better. They really should be up 3-1 right now. They should not have lost. I think it was Game 3. They missed so many wide open shots, and they ended up losing that game by 2 points.
Cleveland looks like Walter White in the second half of season 5. It's like, fuck, he looks rough. He's got the scruffy hair and the beard.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, the series is ending soon.
It doesn't look great for...
Just the whole thing. Like, it's ugly.
It
like,
doesn't look
last year, they bodied the first round. And the second round, and fuck it, the third round.
Dude, I mean, that's like why I was so confident being like, yeah, Cleveland's just going to be fucking fine. They're going to roll through the East. Because last year, everyone was like, I don't know, Cleveland doesn't look very good. And then they lost one game on their way to the finals.
I remember thinking all that was bullshit. But we didn't have a podcast then or anything, and everyone was freaking out about the Cavs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You have LeBron, you have Kyrie, and you have they're all healthy, and you have Kevin Love healthy. What?
J.R. Smith's playing the best basketball of his career.
Exactly, and now you have this, which is the actual worst possible scenario.
Yeah, this is bad. I mean...
I hate the alarmist, because now that it's actually happening, fucking, there's nothing to be, like, alarming about. It's just ridiculous.
I still have faith, because it's LeBron. Like, so of course. So I still like have to believe that they can do this, especially in a season where he played 82 games. He's not just going to be like, well, that's it, I'm out, and he's like, it'll be like a total fucking waste for him. Like, why did you play all those minutes, all those games, if you're just going to give up? And he has done that before in past situations when he was just like not happy and felt like he couldn't win anything, and he bowed out. I don't think that will happen this year. I think that they're going to win tonight, and I think that they're going to end up losing Game 6 in Indiana and then coming back home for Game 7 and winning it.
That is exactly what I predicted, baby. And I think that's what will happen, just home teams winning. But shit, like if you're down to like just being one of those teams that can only really win at home, you are in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, they won one game on the road already, and they should have won. They probably should have won both games on the road.
Those were tight games. But also the only game, the most recent game that they won was basically like 2 Kyle Korver threes, like, and then you have a different game.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like what they're counting on. Like they're counting on LeBron getting wide open 3-pointers for his teammates, and they have to hit them. They've actually played okay defense.
Yeah, it's not as bad as people were saying, but like there are like the defense they're playing is okay in the first round. Then you get to the second and the third round, and if you want to play in the finals, this would be. Listen, the Cavs right now look like a team that would get smoked by whatever team they played in the finals against.
So, assuming that they get past Indy, they will face either the Raptors or the Wizards next round. I think we already talked about this a little bit. They're very vulnerable to losing against... I don't think that they're vulnerable to losing against the Wizards because they would have home court advantage against the Wizards, and the Wizards are as much, if not a bigger mess than Cleveland is. But the Raptors, even though they still have, like, little brother syndrome, I feel like they could get up. I think that the part of the reason that they aren't playing as well against the Wizards is because they can't fucking wait to get at LeBron. I think that they're actually just, like... hope like, okay, let's get the series over with and let's fucking get to the next round and play LeBron and get this monkey off our back. I think that they're chomping at the bit to get at that team right now. So Cleveland's definitely vulnerable to lose against the Raptors in the second round. I
just want to give a shout out to John Wall, who's playing very well. Everyone was shitting on John Wall, and he's also one of those guys that like he gets shit on by a lot of insider NBA circles, you know. Like, he's not really an efficient player, but he's been like the best statistical ISO player in the playoffs so far, or at least one of the best. He's at like 1.22 points per ISO, which is fucking awesome.
I really like John Wall as a player and as a guy. He was one of my favorite players for a long time.
He talks shit, man. I like it. He's cool. Yeah. He's a cool player. He's fun.
Yeah, I like him.
He's fast. Amazing passer.
It just feels like that Wizards team is always underachieved.
Of course.
Like that backcourt we should be considering that backcourt, you know, they should be in the argument for the best backcourt in the NBA.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, they just haven't, I don't know, they just haven't taken that mantle.
I've actually always thought that they would be a perfect, like, later years LeBron team because they already have the amazing backcourt. They just don't really have the other pieces around it to, like, make it worth LeBron's while to, like, actually get to the finals.
That would be a fascinating turn of events if he decided to go to Washington. That would be fascinating.
It's in the East. They got 2 All-Stars. What's the hold up here?
They don't have
a
great coach.
No. They would need to fire him.
And they don't have enough depth.
They've spent too much money on Otto Porter and Ian Mahinmi. Now, that Mahinmi contract has really screwed them for potential growth. Like a LeBron move or getting another All-Star, you know? Like, you handicap your team like that, fuck, you cut off a lot of possibilities. And I hate to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, that poor team construction always sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
It just sucks that like there was like that big cap boom for 2 years and that fucked the league.
Yeah, it was such a mistake. It really, looking back, it's one of the worst things that's happened because so many teams are fucked, and then the one team that's not fucked is very not fucked.
Like the Warriors. We didn't get to talk about it, but the Blazers basically don't have a road forward because they have paid money to Evan Turner and Mo Harkless, and there's one other guy who's like not that great.
What's his name? Wow, he's awful. He's so bad. Myers Leonard.
Leonard, that's the one.
Doesn't play.
Like between
makes $10 million a year, doesn't play.
Their 2 best players, I think they're owed $57 million each over the next 3 years.
Yep,
not each. $50 million,
yeah.
$57 million combined over the next 3 years. Sorry, $57 million combined per year.
Low
over
budget.
The next 3 years. Yeah. So that actually is really a great financial situation to find yourself in. Like, our 2 best players are under contract for that little, for that much. Mm-hmm. We should be able to have flexibility moving forward. But they
murdered it.
Yeah.
With Evan Turner.
All because the market was a little wacky for a couple of years.
Exactly. Or just even for a month.
Yeah.
A month. Screwed basketball in Portland.
So who do you have tonight?
I have
Indy.
As of recording this, we're in the middle of Wizards, Raptors, and Pacers, Cavs. I think Cavs win tonight. Give me Raptors tonight.
Yeah, I have the Raptors.
But now, I don't know. Maybe the Wizards steal this game.
They're in Toronto? No.
Give me the Wizards.
All right.
I changed my pick.
Do it.
Then Rockets close it out.
You've been on point for
Thank you.
for a lot of this stuff.
I just think that the Wizards are going to
props for the Jazz. Mad props. I fucking all year I kept not believing. I don't know why. I don't know, just because like their best player is a rookie, and
all the signs are there. That is bullshit.
Like all conventional wisdom. Not that I'm like a conventional wisdom guy, but like this, it just didn't make sense to me. I can't believe.
And
that
they sucked the
fucking
first
good.
50 games or 40 games of the year, or whatever.
By the way, I love Joe Ingles.
Fucking awesome.
That dude is the man.
He's
I love
nice.
all Australians in the NBA.
Yeah, they're great.
They're fucking awesome.
Also, goodbye, Andrew Bogut. He's retiring. The original Aussie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep,
he
first
had
pick.
he had a really good career, man.
Great. Hey, he won a championship, right?
He did win a
Warriors.
championship.
Good job. That Monta Ellis trade.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that, where I was. I was in the boys' locker room at my high school.
I used to be a huge Monte Ellis fan.
Same. I love the Warriors as a kid, so, and that bled into like this other generation of Monta Ellis. Like fucking, it was weird. Also, I'll pick the Thunder tonight as well.
I am going to take, let's see, I'll take the Thunder in OKC. I'll take Cleveland in Cleveland. I'll take the Rockets in Houston to close the series out. I'll take the Raptors in Toronto to go up 3-2. Yeah, that's what I got.
That's all I got. I'm a tired person.
Anything else you want to touch on before we call it a night and start watching this shit?
I don't know. I think I'm all basketballed out. Let's just watch some now.
All right.
So much speculation.
Thank you guys for listening. Share, like, comment, tell your friends, tell your mom.
Tell your dad.
Tell her friends.
Tell your dad's mom's friends.
And we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you in the future.